Right. Welcome back. Newspaper review. Party after party has been stopped. This is what is there on the front of the Daily Nation. Travel, Ruto stops party for joy riders. That's the headline. I'm just going to take the headline and then move to the other headline on the Standard and the Business Daily before I bring on Kimani Wachira to get to dissect the details of this. Travel, Ruto stops party for joy rider. So a picture of President William Ruto there, and also some information on government which is cutting down on foreign travel by government officials. The Standard, save us from salary shame, civil servants. That's what it says. Save us from salary shame, civil servants. And the image used there is one of police officers, I believe, or KDF soldiers there marching. That's KDF, I'm informed by Major Frank, who is at the transmission desk here with us at KUTV. So the Standard, save us from salary shame, civil servants are crying there. We'll get into the details. The Business Daily, on the other hand, has spoken here about the fuel usage. Fuel usage dips to 5-year low as Kenyans keep cars at home. Fuel usage dips to 5-year low as Kenyans keep cars at home. An image there of vehicles in a parking lot of Nyayo Estate in Embakasi. Kimani, welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much.
Greet our people. Alafu ndo tuone nini inaendelea hapa.
Thank you very much. I'm Kimani Wachira, the President Emeritus, TVET Student Association, and Chair and co-founder, Kiambu Youth Council, where we advocate, advance, and talk about youth agenda in Kiambu. And I'm also the acting chair, MKUSA Kiambu chapter. MKUSA is a student body that is for all students in the who studies within and outside Mount Kenya, and belong to the gamer community. It's pleasure being hosted here again to come and discuss and deliberate about issues affecting our nation, and issues are seen by the eye of the editor. All right.
While we are still at the editor, let me tell you what the headlines are, and then you'll pick your best editor today, right? The Daily Nation, travel. They've prioritized that government cutting down on foreign travel by government officials. The Standard is talking about salary for civil servants, so save us from salary shame, civil servants. The Daily Nation is on travel. The Business Daily is on fuel shortage. Who do you think hit the nail on the head today?
Today, I'll credit the Daily Nation. And even the words they have used,
right?
Because they are talking about party. Ruto stops party. Then if it was the ministry or it was the finance department that gave the outline, this nation has been going through financial crisis. At the same time, we have had people misusing our resources when they are going to represent the nation outside Kenya. And when they are there, they have unnecessary people. They go with PS, they go with security, which is that burden is transferred to Wanjiku, who is the taxpayers, and who has been overburdened through paying taxes. So for the headlines, I'll go with the Daily Nation. He really did a good job, and that was done because I was following. It was the statement was given late at night, at around 8:40 something. That is when the CBK released the statement. So I'm sure they had another headline they had to
reverse and prioritize this one.
This is a good conversation. And even before we discuss it, I will give a recommendation that now that we have already thought about foreign travels, is it not the right time to also consider about our domestic travels?
I also thought about the same thing, right? If we are curbing down expenditure, you are curbing expenditure and cutting down on foreign spending, delegates, and all this, living in swanky hotels, traveling first class. Fuel guzzlers within the republic as well. Let's cut down the number of vehicles that these officials are traveling with, how many times they get to travel. But as you said there, a tick to the editor, but also a tick to Kenya Kwanza. For the first time, even as far as public participation is concerned.
I'll say that in Kwaregi village, the elders once told me that he who wants, or he who has a canoe that wants to fight the storm must be ready to go to the waters or the oceans. Ruto appointed these guys. They are his friends and buddies, and it has been a tough decision to make this choice because they are saying that we worked for this. It is our privilege, but he's now willing and able to tell them that no. We are here to serve the Wanjiku. It's Wanjiku who elected us, and we don't need to have these extra costs transferred to Wanjiku.
Right.
It is a win for the Kenya Kwanza government and a win more so for the Wanjiku, who is the taxpayer. And the reason why I'm insisting so much being a win on Wanjiku is because we don't, the Wanjiku does not understand that whenever a certain CS travels with a chase car and a very entourage,
a very large entourage
of convoys of V8 and other luxurious cars, it is Wanjiku who fuel these cars.
Right.
And those cars have drivers. Those drivers are paid by Wanjiku. They have PAs, they have security, they have medical, unnecessary things and pressures. And all this is catered for Wanjiku.
Right.
We can reduce such costs. And when we are on it, it is the same time we tell Ruto that now that you have done that on foreign, let us come to internal. I fail to understand why MPs will meet in Villa Rosa, Kempinski and other huge hotels, whereas we have Bomas of Kenya and we have the chambers within parliament to do the meetings or the committees.
But they have to meet in Naivasha, they have to meet in Mombasa for a retreat. You see, the committee on security is meeting in Turkana Lodge. You know, some very big expenditures done on very small meetings.
Yes, it is the high time we cut these costs so that we can save Wanjiku, who is the tax, who is overburdened by the tax.
Right. The government then has suspended all non-essential travel for government officials, and you can read that at within the Daily Nation. This circular, which was issued yesterday, as you've heard there late in the night by the head of public service, has cut down on non-essential travels, and I'm going to just mention a few of those non-essential travels. Benchmarking. Tumekuwa tukiona MCAs, MPs going to Europe, to the US to benchmark on public transport or irrigation. On
things that we are even doing better than the nations they go to.
Right. So benchmarking has been suspended, study visits, trainings. They also said side gigs, you're going for a UN delegation, but you have another side event that you want to do in DC, Washington with the diaspora. That has been cut down. They've also cut down on the number of delegates who are accompanying these government officials, where the cabinet secretary is accompanied by at least one delegate, by at least two other delegates, right? One has to be a technical officer who has expertise in that field, and none other to be security. Hakuna kutembea na security detail abroad.
Yes.
The CS cannot travel with the PS at the same time unless it's necessary, right? And the PS can only travel with one other person. And I think also and other logistic officers who have been cut down. This is a very commendable move, and we're hoping that this can be translated as well, of course, down to internal and domestic travels, as you said.
Yes, it's also good to note that this is also going to affect even the county government. This is a directive for both national government and county government. Most of the time, Wanjiku focuses on the national government and fail to understand that a lot of misuses of resources are happening in county government, where you find that a certain county government, there is a time we wanted to do a round of a certain project. The governor was not there, the deputy governor was in another event, but all the CSs, that is the CCs, were outside the nation on various missions, and I quote. And you see, all that means that the county government affairs are temporarily suspended. So I applaud the government for making this tough decision because they are limiting their friends to travel. And also the toughest decision was telling Waheshimiwa, you will not go with your PA, you are not going with your security details. Because we have we have our embassies in those nations.
And we have delegates already.
And we have delegates there. It is their duty to ensure that your security, when you are within, with their reach, is provided. It is their responsibility to ensure that your transport arrangements are done prior. And also it's good that they have said that if you are going to represent this nation outside Kenya, you have to liaise with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs so that they can approve your visa and other costs. That is a very noble cause, and I wish that we are going to we are going to see it being implemented. Because if you recall, when he first met his cabinet, immediately they were appointed in Nyahururu, in a certain, I think, in a certain hotel. He said this, that if you come late, you are going to
be locked out.
He also said that we are going to cut costs. We never seen, we didn't see it being implemented, but now with this directive issued by the head of public servants, he's
chief of staff as well,
and the chief of staff, he's the one who is the employer.
Right.
Ruto is just the appointing authority.
Right.
So when he says that, we are proud and we think that now the government is keen and are keen to delivering what it promised.
And if you remember earlier on, they had also issued a statement that there's no traveling for more than 45 days in a year. So you have a total of 45 days as a government official to travel, and once you travel, one visit can't go for more than 7 days. So I think as far as also public participation is concerned, even on this show and outside, we've discussed several times on where exactly can the government cut down on spending, and it's been such a repetitive issue that government officials are spending so much time and so much money on foreign visits, going with their families. We've seen some of them going for football matches in London instead of going for what exactly the duty it is that took them there. And also the other directive that if it's possible for that visit to be done in a virtual setup, request for the virtual meet and just do it from Kirinyaga County or wherever it is that you're doing it at. Read more on that, on the government cutting down on expenditure. I think that's a good one on the Daily Nation. Let's move to the Standard for a bit and then come back to other matters on the Daily Nation. Save us from salary shame. Civil servants are crying there. The Public Service Commission, in a memorandum to the National Dialogue Committee, the National Dialogue team has said public servants can no longer make ends meet. In some instances, up to half the employees take home less than a third of their pay. Most of the money is being spent on loans, taxes, and mortgages. So we're going to have this conversation even as we delve deep into what is happening with the National Dialogue Committee. What it runs on civil servants. Public Service Commission is saying that either the government reimagines its tax regime as it goes on because it's hurting civil servants, or adjust their wages to match up with the high cost of living. This, among other memoranda which has been submitted at the National Dialogue team. To begin with, is this among the key issues that you feel have been well represented in the memoranda submitted?
Yeah, when the bilateral talks began and they gave an opportunity for Kenyans to incorporate their views, which is also enshrined in the article of the Constitution that gives us the freedom of expression, people went with ambiguous clauses. But yesterday, I'm a proud Kenyan, when I heard what was presented by Public Service Commission, who happens to be the employer of almost all of the people who work for us in the government.
Right.
And one of they were complaining. The employer is complaining that the employee is not his remittance or what he's paid is not equivalent to what he spends. And he has loans, he or she has loans, he or she has mortgages, and the salary that he gets is not equal to what he works for, and also the taxes are reducing this. And if you hear that that is the employer who is saying that, then we must ask ourselves a question. And I'm hoping that the bilateral team led by Karonzo and the majority leader is going to consider this. And now, because we know we cannot reduce the taxes, we need to think about how other ways of reducing the cost of living. And one thing is, as I came from Kiambu today morning, I boarded a matatu. It has 14 people. We met 3 roadblocks. I was seated in the Code River seat, and each roadblock the driver parted with 100 bob. I did quick calculations that when I was paying that 60 bob, they must have considered that they are going to lose 300 in a trip from Kiambu to Ruiru, 20 to 30 minutes walk. So we already have there are ways we can reduce the cost of these employee daily, because if those 3 roadblocks are eliminated and the police don't do these taxation, and I quote, that is going to have a reduction in fear, reduction in the prices of unga and other things. And this is the right.
So corruption is factored in, should be factored in the cost of living. Corruption is contributing to the cost of living.
Corruption is the major costs of higher cost of living in Kenya, because if you look at logistics, if I have imported unga, no problem, tax free, as Ruto said, and they opened the port. But for that package to leave Mombasa to get to the consumer,
I need to part with a few notes here and there.
That is having a direct impact
on the final price.
The final price of that product. If it's the services I'm offering, I'm going to use public means to go and offer that service. And I'm going to, when I'll be doing my bidding, I'll be considering how much the cost of transport was. As far as the cost of fuel is high, we can also look at other factors that are considering this. And it is the highest time this conversation to be incorporated in the bilateral talks. And that is why the employee is making noise that, look, when we give Wanjiku the salary, he only gets a third of that salary
to take home. That's sad.
That is absurd. It is something that should be taken with great concern, because that translates that either that Wanjiku who gets a third at home may not be able to feed himself and afford maybe the basic commodities and also education.
Right. The National Dialogue team and the bilateral talks, Kimani, I want us to see, I'm just trying to posit this from my own point of view, which is President William Ruto, I feel, has effectively been able to take away the powers of this conversation from Raila. Before we went into bilateral talks, it was, Raila Amolo Odinga from the opposition calling out for members, of his own party, but also Kenyans at large who are aggrieved to come through to the streets, right, and to air out their grievances to the government. And it was decided that we need to have a bilateral committee, a national dialogue committee, which we can get to address these issues. But what we're seeing here now is that it's been open now to the public, right? We're seeing the former Attorney General. We saw the other week Interreligious Council submitting their memoranda. We saw the Law Society of Kenya. We're seeing here the Public Service Commission and several other groups, vulnerable groups as well, who are presenting what they need the government to address. One, can we say that effectively President William Ruto has been able to, or the Kenya Kwanza government has been able to reduce these bilateral talks to move away from a political angle to become a wholesome Wanjiku conversation? And could we give a tick on that?
Yes, we will give a tick to the president for being wise and seeing it wise to engage with the opposition, and not only with the opposition, but with the entire nation. When these talks began, people were not sure if it's going to be a handshake or whatever.
Right, and I think we discussed it on this
show. Yeah. But now we can see clearly what was envisioned in these bilateral talks. It is giving the chance for a common Wanjiku. Like yesterday, I was listening to a guy from Homa Bay who made a presentation, and he's a lawyer from a group from Homa Bay. He came all the way from Homa Bay to come and bring his grievances. And as the Article 1 of the Constitution says that we may delegate these powers, these bilateral talks is giving Wanjiku the power to represent his views to those who he has delegated this power to. And Ruto has mastered that art well, and he has given this bilateral team autonomies, because we have not seen him interfere or even
give
talk
a statement.
Give a statement. And we have seen there have been pressures from both sides. We have Kamwene that is led by Mother Karua, Kioni, and our good friend Faris Jane, who are having a conversation about the bilateral talks. We have seen other caucus from Kenya Kwanza resisting this.
Right.
But the two principles have been adamant and focused. Their eyes are still on the eyeball, and they are saying that no, this conversation needs to have, because it is not a conversation about Ruto or Raila. It is a conversation about the problems that Kenyans are facing.
So we can say effectively that we cannot, we are not expecting a handshake here.
Yes, and and I have said here repeatedly that Kenya does not want a handshake, and even Kenya does not want. I think Kenyans, when they went to pass this constitution, they knew the form of government they want, and that's why most of the. I'm also suggesting that we should not entrench the office of the Prime Minister in the Constitution and the office of the official opposition leader.
Right.
Those who envisioned and architected this Constitution knew what they were doing. They were wise. Yes, there are some places we need to polish up, but we don't need to change the basic structure of our Constitution.
Right.
Why? Well, today they exist. Tomorrow another president will come and say that now this prime minister is becoming a bother. We need to change the constitution and eliminate him.
Or get him 2 deputies.
Yes.
And then we are now into another
Instead of changing the basic structure, let them be there on the wishes of the president, because the president has the power to make such constitutional offices and appointee.
Right.
It is great, or it is good if we consider not changing the basic structure of that constitution. Something else that has been presented there that I wish to give my views on in the bilateral talks is the cost is about IEBC, the servers, and everything.
Right. The former AG saying that we need to have a review of election results and avail IEBC servers to everyone after every election.
Yes. I think it is time we call a stone a stone. Elections are done and finished at the polling station. This is where the final decision is made. And we should not be having this conversation if Ruto's people and Raila's people and Wajakoya's people and Maure's people were serious. They need to have agents in each and every polling station in this republic. What we need to empower is empower our political parties and independent candidates to have a mechanism of having agents. And this is why I'm suggesting that this issue can be solved through technology. I may be an engineer, but I can appreciate what is being done in the technology world. We need to just develop a software for this, and this goes to our youths who are talking about unemployment. Develop a software that can be fed data from each and every polling station independently from Wanjiko and the observers there, such that as they tally, Wanjiko can also do their tally. Because these numbers are verifiable, and it needs to have a way of scanning that document and avoiding all this confusion in bombers. As we say that immediately elections are done, we see those who are elected rush into bombers. We don't need to have a very big tallying center in bombers. We only need to embrace technology. We have media houses like you doing your own tally, because you can use Wanjiko as your agents in each and every polling station voluntary basis, so that immediately after elections we don't have a conversation of how
we don't spend another year again reviewing the election.
Years was stolen. We also don't spend a lot of time going to the Supreme Court. And if we do, we'll not be talking about the numbers, but the technicalities and legalities of the process.
Right.
So as a Kenyan, I'm thinking that it is time we tell our candidates face to face, we speak truth to power, that invest in agents in each and every polling station.
Right.
So that if you have a case to plea, you say that this is what my agent presented, but vis-a-vis what IEBC recorded.
Right. Others who have submitted their own memoranda to the National Dialogue Committee or the National Dialogue Team is the Council of Governors, which also coincidentally held their election just the same day when they were submitting the memoranda. Anne Waiguru retains her seat as the chairperson of the Council of Governors, and then also gave out the statements regarding a few issues concerning governance. One is that the revenue allocation to the counties should be not less than 45% of the national revenue collection of the previous year. So they want more money to be allocated to counties. They want more functions to be devolved, to be given over to the county bosses. But one very interesting thing is on impeachment. We know that governors like Kawira have been, in Meru County, have been facing impeachment threats from the day they just set into office, still facing those impeachment threats. So they are saying a review of this impeachment law, and you can read for yourself on page 4 and 5 of the Daily Nation, where they're saying within the first year of office of a governor, there should be no motion of impeachment, that they should be protected against that. And also 1 year towards the next election, there shouldn't be any impeachment. So we only have the second and the third year, right? So we only have 2 years to impeach them, or to have a chance to impeach them. Is this selfish?
I think
Are these governors who are afraid of impeachment?
I think when I had when I saw that discussion yesterday, I went to the Constitution because they are saying that they are the easiest to impeach compared to MPs.
Yeah, they should be treated just like MPs.
And I went to the Constitution and I checked under Article 145 and 46 talks about the impeachment of the president. That is Article 145 talks about if he's incapacitated, that is physical or mental. 146 about impeachment. We go to the county governors, how they can be impeached. Now I also did my research on how to impeach an MP and a senator, and it brings us back to the conversation of the basic structure.
Okay.
The president and the governor are treated equally because the governor is the president of a county, and he has his MPs who are also called the members of county assembly.
Right.
And you cannot compare how an MCA should be impeached to how his boss should be impeached, because they say they want to be treated the way their MCAs is treated. If I remind Wanjiko, who is watching us today, if you want to impeach an MP, you cannot do that. You can only recall him, and the Constitution says that the Parliament will pass rules on how to recall an MP. Do you think they did a good noble work on how to impeach themselves?
No, they cannot.
Of course.
They will not allow themselves impeached.
But that is what the Constitution stipulates.
Okay.
What Waiguru is saying is that don't impeach us. But if you go back to those who designed the current Constitution, they knew that we'll have problems in unanimous counties. And indeed, if you look at Kiambu, where I come from, we have had those problems. People said they were political, but till today, Waitito's case is still in court. He was found, he has a case to answer. So we cannot say that impeachment is a political process. The MCAs are within their rights, and their role is oversight. And if you are oversighting somebody, and somebody has, to your best of knowledge, done a crime, what should you do?
You should impeach them.
You should not, and because they are not empowered by law to go to the DCI. The channel that is there is impeachment. So Waitito is selfish when he has this discussion. It should be known that within the first 6 months, as they say that the strength that an aircraft leaves the runway is that the same strength that sustained it.
Okay.
Within 6 months, when a governor is elected, you can now rate his performance. You can know this one will have problems, this one is going to work well with the MCs. When Sakaja, let me use the case of Sakaja. When Sakaja was elected, he started a good rapport with MCAs from Kenya Kwanza and the opposition, which happened to be One Kenya Alliance, Azimio One Kenya Alliance. And we knew that in Nairobi we are going to have tranquility. And that's why we have not had that conversation.
Right.
In Meru, the pointing case where we have had the first successful impeachment, and because Kawira was saved by the Senate.
Right.
We knew from the word go, Meru is going to be chaotic. Since how they started doing their things, how they handled things, how they did appointments. So when Waiguru says that we can only impeach me 1 year to elections, you cannot impeach me 1 year to election and 1 year past election. It brings the issues of who are you to advise us? Yes, it is your constitutional right to do so. But remember, you are the governor. You cannot beat your own drum. You cannot tell us how to remove you from office because you'll be talking about your selfish interests. Maybe I would advise the good governor and who happens to have won and who is also politically mature that was a very bad move.
Right.
Maybe the suggestion about 45% is now being questioned.
Why do you want more money?
More money, right. And you have been unable to.
You want more money? But you don't want to be impeached as well at the same
And you
time.
don't, and remember that today we don't have financial autonomy of the assemblies. They are dependent on the governor. And if they try to bring an impeachment motion, they are not protected in the constitution. So the governors ensure that they don't get finances.
Right.
The first suggestion will be, one, let us have financial autonomy. And that is what the county councils of governors should have been suggesting about finances. It is so unfortunate that last week, the controller of budget released a report about how the governors are performing.
Right.
And we saw various counties, led by Kiambu, returning money to the national government.
Right.
They have been given resources and they have been unable to utilize them. It is absurd to hear the same people saying that they need to be given more money. Why do we need to have money that are slipping on accounts, whereas Kenyans are languishing in poverty, where we have pending bills equivalent to billions? Waiguru should be asking resources, and when I say Waiguru, I mean the councils of governors should be asking resources, not even to do, not to be added to 45%. They should be saying, look, the government, we have pending bills. Let us first clear these pending bills, because this is a youth who was given a tender under AGPO, this access to government procurement opportunity. They did business with the county assembly or the county government, and 4 years down the line, they have not been paid. Why? They don't have the connections. Why? They have said that from what I quoted and what I'm being asked in these offices, it is not possible for me to give you to get. That's sad. That is what we are talking about as a youth.
Right.
We need to have these county governors, the council of county governors, listen to what Wanjiku is talking about. And Wanjiku is saying that, well, you don't need to have resources that you are unable to utilize and return them. It is a shame. It is the biggest shame. And I'm not going to mention those governors because those are, it's a shame.
Yeah.
It is disgusting.
Right.
You are given resources, you have pending bills, you have projects that you can implement, and you are unable to do that. One full year.
You need to be impeached.
You need to
as soon as possible. Right.
And then you are saying that you don't need to be impeached 1 year to the government.
All right, we'll be getting to that heated discussion in a bit. Let's just divert our attention to the brain teaser here, and then tutakuja, we talk about the fuel shortage, the fuel usage, which has dipped, by the way. Wanasema hii mwaka watu wameweka magari kwa nyumba alafu hawataki kutumia petrol. Recently, taking a cab around Nairobi, you realize there's a lot of gas-operated taxis, yeah?
Yes, LPGs and also electricals are coming up. Electric motorbikes are coming back.
Vile unapika mayai kwa nyumba, that's also how you get to work. And that's an easier and cheaper option that drivers are taking rather than the super petrol. We'll get into...
I also want to challenge our engineering students from JKUTV and other university and technical courses. You should think about, can we make a car that is using biogas? It is, I mean, environmental friendly.
True.
We were able to tap that biogas and change it to energy that can propel a car. And our engineers are capable of doing that.
Really?
You only need to find a catalyst that is in the engine combustion chambers.
Right.
And I'm not giving you a Kenya.
They should use it as a blueprint.
Yes, so that we have, that is totally environmental friendly. Because even LPG itself is a product from petroleum products.
Right.
So it is not that.
So somehow still it's not clean, yeah?
It's not clean, and it's not green energy.
Okay.
But if we think about recycling this garbage, creating biogases, and then tapping these biogases into ways that can be used and converting it to fuel would be a very great and noble innovation.
Think about it, think about it, think about it. Wale wako huko nje. Now, questions here. Brain teaser, general knowledge. If you're at home, play with us. Alafu tutajua kunaendaje. Give us your score as well. Last week I think I beat. Yes, I won. Yes, last week I won, right? I only lost twice before. I lost to Nick Mwandime, my good friend and national director at MKUSA. Nick, wewe. He beat me twice.
He beat you twice?
Yes.
I think, Nick, I know you are watching. Nick, my phone is on, and I think you need to send him more Kenya.
Yeah, wacha tujue atapata nini leo, but just to revenge, I'm gonna whoop you here today. on this one. Let's get to see what the questions are. 10 questions, 5 seconds each. Question number 1, who is the current CEO of KCB Bank Kenya? Come on. I know the former. Does that work?
I know the
All right.
next.
You know the next. Question number 2, where is the COMESA headquarters found? Who came up with these questions? Where is the COMESA headquarters found? My goodness. Question number 3, which fruit is named after a color? Come on. Banana? Color banana. All right. Question number 4. What is the slogan of KUTV? What is the slogan of KUTV? Yeah, right. My job is on the line here. Right. Question number next. What is the study of plants? What? What? Oh my goodness. Who is the current cabinet secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs? Ministry of Foreign Affairs, CS. All right. Question. Wait, come on. What does BBC stand for? Right. So many right answers here. All right. Question next. What is the currency of Denmark? Oh, man. All right. Last question here. Which is the smallest planet in our solar system? Oh, man. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. I dropped geography in Form 2. Let's see. Wait, time's up. Time's up, Washira. Also, as we are still on matters of answering questions and education and whatnot, October 5th is the day to celebrate teachers, which is World International Teachers Day. So before we mark here and tell your teachers what you got, celebrate a few of them. Are there teachers that you'd like to give a shout out from your, maybe a few, limited to 5 teachers? I know you've been taught by many teachers.
I think 5 is
It's a good number.
is the minimum.
Okay.
The maximum should be after 2 days.
Go on.
Thank
go
you very
on.
much. Teachers play an important role in our nurturing and making us who we are. And today, I wish to celebrate those who have made Kimani Washira the political brand who he is. It's their work and training that has made us who we are. I want to first celebrate my father, who is a teacher also. He was called Mr. Ngata. He taught me mathematics at class 4 at Kwaregi Primary School. And I think that's why I'm good in mathematics, and that's why there are no questions that I would have shown if there were questions in mathematics in that test. I also wish to celebrate all the teachers who have been who have taught me, and lecturers, because they are also teachers, and also those who are in university studying. There is Mr. Wahome, Mrs. Kamau. We have my friends who are also doing education today in institutions like KU. I want to Shell Mill. We have Mwalimu Maganjo. We have Mwalimu Shiko and others who are doing noble work in education. Right.
Let's see what your education gets you on this brain teaser. Question number 1, who is the current CEO of KCB Bank Kenya? What's the answer? My director, Sharon. What is the answer to the first question? Who is the current KCB Bank CEO? We didn't get... Yeah?
A big no.
Okay. So we didn't get any of that. Question number 2. Where are the headquarters of COMESA found?
South Africa?
Nope. Lusaka, Zambia.
We are all.
Question number 3. So Lusaka Zambia is the answer to COMESA headquarters. Which fruit is named after a color? Orange? Or is the color named after the fruit?
I think it's the fruit that came in creation if you are a Christian, and then colors came later if you are a Christian. That is the justification.
Okay, let's see. What is the slogan of KUTV? A new experience.
Biashara Tuesday.
All right, yes. Biashara Tuesday, a new experience. Question number 5. What is the study of plants? It's botany.
It's botany.
It is.
You said ecology.
What's the answer, my director? Botany. I wrote ecology. I think President Ruto confused me a bit there, because that's his field. Who is the current cabinet secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs? That is Daktari Alfred Mutua of the Cobra Squad. Which is the oldest bank in Kenya? I don't think we got that question. But it's Cooperative Bank. We didn't get that question, my director. What does the BBC stand for? BBC, you wrote just an exclamation marks.
But there is an explanation, that is Broadcasting Corporation.
So what's the first B?
British.
British, but you didn't write it. So this, you get a half for that, yeah? So British Broadcasting Corporation. What is the currency of Denmark? It's the Danish krone. What did I write there? Krugler or something?
Kruger.
Oh my God. Kruger. It's not the Danish Kruger. It's not, nothing like that. Okay. Last question. What is the smallest planet in our solar system? It's Mercury, not Mars. Okay.
It is Mercury.
Yes. Kimani Washira, I beat you. I don't even need to check my score.
You have 4.
I have 4. And you have this.
4.
Do I need to say it?
Yes, I have 4.5. So you should see me after this.
All right.
I think I've joined the list of Mondimes and other intellectuals who have on
who
air.
have beat me. Yeah, that's hiyo ni ile ya kusema tu, but the real results I have them here. I beat him thoroughly.
I
there,
think
so you get 4.
Next time you'll be saying that the servers should be opened.
Right. Russo. Paul Russo is the CEO, current CEO of KCB. Did you know that?
Now I do.
Okay, now you know. If you're at home, tell us what you got there. But thank you very much, Washira, for creating time for us. It's 9:46 in the morning, which means we don't have much. I know you're a man of quotes. So you're going to give us an African proverb. So we finish up. But there's something I needed to hear from you, which is we are sending our police officers to Haiti. 1,000 of them. It is a multinational corporation, and then it's funded by the US. Canada said, you know, they support this, but we are not sending our soldiers, yeah? We are supporting you guys, but not sending it. Russia said, we are supporting it, but we're not voting for it. China said, nothing. The US is in for it. African nations calling themselves the A3, I think it's Cameroon, Gabon, and should be Zambia, who are in full support of Kenya leading this mission to Haiti. What do you have to say about it?
I think, one, it's good that we want to show that we have military power and also our police are capable. But at the same time, it is funny that we are talking about addressing and going and fighting cartels, whereas we have been unable to deal with our own homegrown cartels. The police in Kenya are one of the greatest cartels. I had earlier illustrated that from Kiambu to Ruiru we pay 60 bob. If you do it, that matatu will always carries excess. If you do at 18 passengers with 60 bob, that is 1080. But 300 goes to traffic corporals somewhere. So that guy is left with around 880 to pay fuel, maintain that car, and also make a profit from there. What we are saying is, before we go to address the rogue, the small piece of peckle in Haiti's eye, let us deal with the rogue in our own eye. But then, it's good also to note that the nation has been silent when other nations have been silent when small countries are unstable. But when major countries become stable, they are making noise. So it's at the same time I also want to applaud the president for the noble job of realizing and starting this conversation.
Okay.
Either we send or not send the troop. He has brought this conversation to the limelight.
Right.
Because Russia-Ukraine war, everybody's talking about that.
Okay.
Everybody's talking about the effect of global warming and in Morocco and other nations. But nobody's talking about these small countries.
Okay.
It's good to have that conversation, but it was
still,
not wise to send our people. But they can do this. That is my suggestion. Don't send the Kenya police.
They're saying it's business though. 14 billion. That's good business.
Don't send
Good
Kenya
money.
police. Send our military people
Okay.
who have fought Al-Shabaab and have won in Kenya police uniform, so that we can have a good ranking outside there.
Okay.
That is wisdom from Kwaregi elders.
All right, thank you very much, Kimani Wachira, for helping us put these matters into perspective here. The Daily Nation, the Business Daily, and the Standard. Grab yourself a copy, alafu tuambie. Please finish up with a quote here. I know you have many of those. One of those insightful African proverbs that you have. Let us know.
Today, before I finish up with a quote, I want to send my message of condolences to the family of Yala MP, Maina Karobia, who lost his dad. Maina Karobia has been one of a key pillar supporting our youthful people. He was nominated under the UDA ticket, but he has been extending and helping people even away from Kenya Kwanza. As long as you are a youth, he has been helpful. I know. Take heart as you are undergoing these trying moments. We are with you. The entire comradeship of Mount Kenya is behind you. It's supporting you, and we are going to come and pass our condolence note to you and your family. As I conclude, I want to talk to the youths of this nation. No matter the economy of the jungle, a lion will not eat grass. Times are tough, but be the lion. Focus on the prey, and if it is difficult, just focus on going and hunting those opportunities. Because at the end of the day, we see there is nothing for us without us, but those opportunities will never find you as you complain on social media. Follow the social media handles of these government agencies, these government offices, that is the presidency, the councils of governors. They post opportunities, and those opportunities are there for grab, and you cannot know them if you're only complaining and not following these social media handles. Thank you very much for hosting us. It has been a great pleasure.
Thank you very much.
And thank you very much also. I want to maybe say a big thank. You have not only been hosting me, but other cohorts of youth leaders, giving them an opportunity to be heard, to talk, to speak truth to power. And that is a noble work.
Right.
When we will be rewriting the history of the fourth revolution, you'll be among the people who will be recorded in those books.
Thank you very much. Very humble sentiments there by Kimani Wachira. I appreciate that. And as he said there, no matter the economy of the jungle, a lion will not eat grass. And that's very powerful information for you there. Do not give up, do not despair. As a youth, go out and hunt for those opportunities. Going for a short break, coming back for your feedback. And then we are closing it up here on Biashara Tuesday. Don't go far.